Hey kids, it's Roy. What up? He's back. What up? Not really. With another Roy's review. Where'd you think he was? Playing Bot W? Today's we're gonna talk about one of the most badass games of all time that was ever released on the N64. We're talking about Turok! Turok 2, Seeds of Evil! Indiana Jones may be the best treasure hunter, but Turok here is the best dinosaur hunter. Indy deals with humans, Turok deals with dinosaurs. Indy deals with traps, Turok deals with self-suiciding entrails who'll blow up in your face. Indy deals with machine guns and pistols, Turok deals with the Cerebral Bore, which seeks out your skull, drills a hole into your brain and self-detonates! Indy ain't got nothing on Turok, so let's plug in this piece of garbage and take a look at one of the best dinosaur hunter games of all time. This game's so badass even the card is black. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil is the sequel to the original game Turok Dinosaur Hunter, which was released in 1997 and developed by Iguana Entertainment and published by Acclaim. Both games were released on the N64 and were state-of-the-art during their time. Turok 2 is known for a unique and awesome assortment of weapons, huge levels, and a pretty engaging storyline. You play as Turok and you get to go around killing dinosaurs, solving puzzles, gathering keys, and other stuff like that are scattered across the levels. The game lets you run, jump, climb, swim, dive, and blow stuff up. The game has only 6 levels.
The River of Souls.
Which may not seem like a lot, but each level really does have sub-levels, subdivisions, and sub-puzzles, and it takes you at least 2 or 3 hours to beat each one if it's your first time. Each level also has multiple objectives such as killing a boss, protecting a totem thing,
Locate the energy totem and defend it at all costs.
rescuing hostages,
Child rescued.
Thank you, Turok.
and more. Most of the time you do some platforming, you do some jumping.
I am Turok!
Calm your tats! And you do some collecting. You'll easily get lost because each level is massive and huge, but there is a handy mini-map that you can pull up at any time to guide you through the levels, and it's not annoying where it pauses the gameplay and it just wastes your time because you gotta like pause, unpause, reset windows, go through the levels just looking at this map that appears on your screen. When you complete a level, you get a Primagen key. With this key, you get to go to the final boss after you get all 6. The game also requires a separate memory card to save the game, which is kind of a pain if the one you have is some piece of third-party garbage card only works 1/3 of the time. The game also had talismans which were required in order to collect a key. These let Turok do some godlike actions like jumping long distances or even walking on lava. One level will usually require you to use the talisman to go to the next level, so they're all kind of interconnected, kind of like the good Zelda games. Back then, first-person shooters on the N64 were either hit or miss. The controller only allowed so much freedom and degree of control where some games nailed it, and others were really just plain garbage. Turok 2 was okay, but going back to review it, I really couldn't believe that this was considered playable back then. Compared to today's controls, this is absolutely terrible. But hey, it worked back then for the time, and critics generally agreed with the controls. It's garbage! The best game ever. You could even play the 6 levels in any order you want. So you could go to the first level, go to the last level, I think, or just start somewhere in the middle if you like to be even Steven, you know? This game was also extremely difficult. It was no walk in the jungle. This AI is smart, and they're very powerful too if you don't know what you're doing. You fight a variety of dinos, you get slashes, clawed, blown up, and even mated out of nowhere. The game also has some tricky platforming sections and moving platform with precision jumps, and sometimes both at the same time, while dodging enemy projectiles. When you get killed in the game, you get to respawn from a previous checkpoint at the cost of a life. When you lose all your lives, the game's over. You start back at the beginning.
2 lives remain.
Calm your tats! You can find life force suppliers throughout the game, but they don't really help because the difficulty of the game ramps up as you make progress. You can save your progress, but this can only be done at special portals, which would require you to make progress in order to save your progress. But we're not going to sit through 18 hours of torture while you watch me suck at games, like all my other videos. We're just going to do it the CEO way, presenting cheats! Because this game was so difficult, I could never beat it without cheats. So I cheated all the things. This was the master cheat that unlocked pretty much everything. Weapons, levels, characters, and gave you access to the entire game. You could level warp, you could even do 2-player co-op by going into multiplayer mode and then warping yourself to any level in the game. So you could literally play through the main campaign with a friend. Without the cheat, single player levels are just single player levels, and multiplayer levels are just multiplayer levels. But with this cheat, you kind of trick the game engine into thinking that you're just doing single player or multiplayer. But for upcoming Let's Players, I recommend the Black Web series and overpowered PCs. You're not. You're doing co-op so much cringe. You could still kill each other though, so you could also think of it as a giant deathmatch kind of thing. The strange thing was that this was supposed to be a thing in the game because you wouldn't be able to access it without hacking your way around it with the cheat. But the weird part is that there was a screenshot on the back of the packaging that advertised a level in the game that was intended for single player, but they were doing it in multiplayer. I always found that strange. Did the game designers always play with cheats enabled when they were making the game? Were they just using cheats because it was easier to test everything without having to unlock it manually? Did they just use cheats to skip the levels instead of unlocking them in the regular way because it was just too hard? Who knows? Maybe I should just type an email to them and ask. But they went out of business, so the world will never know. The game had a ton of weaponry. You can use basic shotguns, arrows, explosive arrows, a flamethrower, a spear gun, a rocket launcher, plasma cannons, a cerebral bore, and even a nuke. I can say that the single player campaign is pretty good from what I've seen. So I would expect the rest of the game to follow through, right? I mean, if the first one's good, they're all good. The other good part about Turok, the only other part, is the multiplayer. You and 3 buddies could team up, choose a character, choose your level, and get wrecked, GoldenEye style, and Talia's blast each other's brains out, literally. One thing I always liked about the multiplayer was that you could pick from a whole bunch of different characters that were actually from the game, and when you choose them, they have these weird sound effects that they say, kind of like when you're playing a fighting game and they say their name. But this one, I don't know what they're saying, but they say stuff like "Sucker."
You ruined my show. I impressed myself.
What other game are you gonna hear a dinosaur talk to you like that? Yes. But hey, that's just a review. A Roy review! Thanks for watching!